Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast. This is where accounting professionals just like you come to learn the most efficient and powerful ways to grow their firm, sharpen their sales skills, and have consistent, increasing revenue. We cover topics from sales, networking, handling objections, negotiation, pricing, finding those ideal clients, and how to get rid of the ones that just don't suit you and how to set those boundaries so you can stop giving away your time, working for free, putting yourself on sale, and really start to get paid for the value and the worth that you bring to your clients. You'll learn tips, strategies, as well as hear others from personal interviews from successful accounting professionals. This podcast will show you exactly how to create the firm and life of your dreams full of abundance. Today, we have a very special guest. Our special guest has been here before on the Abundant Accountant Podcast. She works with accountants, bookkeepers, EAs, and other professionals to streamline the business incorporation and compliance process. Her company is called CorpNet, and she offers professionals the ability to incorporate with the compliance services to allow their clients to grow. So it's all the paperwork and legal documents that you would need in order to help your clients incorporate their C Corps, S Corps, etc. Before we welcome our special guest to the show, if your accounting practice is not where you want it to be, I totally get it. So many of the accounting clients that come to me are feeling frustrated, stuck, overwhelmed, and almost just on to the point where maybe they want to go get a job. But today, on today's episode, we're actually talking about 3 different ways on what and why you should consider thinking before you start your own accounting firm. So for those of you that have found you're not charging enough, you're not charging what you're worth, you don't have a solid sales system in place, and you only want to work with those high, consistent paying clients, then you're in the right spot. I have some information to get into your hands to really help you position yourself as the expert, become that high quality client magnet, right? So you get those types of really great clients and really have clients say yes to paying you what you're worth and not balking at your fees. So if you're wanting to build an accounting firm and feel confident about selling high value services and being that personal concierge firm, then head on over to theabundantcall.com. You'll book a call with myself or my colleague, and together we'll explore and discover what opportunities there are in your firm that you could make shifts for right now. The only request I have is that you've had your firm for at least 2 years before we chit-chat. So if that's you, then head on over to theabundantcall.com. Now let's welcome our special guest on today's show, Nellie. Welcome, Nellie, to the show.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I am great. It is wonderful to have you back here at the Abundant Accountant Podcast, where we talk all things abundance and growth and sales and all that fun stuff. But for anyone that maybe hasn't listened to our other episode, can you just share with them a little bit about your background?
Absolutely. So thank you again for having me back on. It's such a pleasure. And for those of you who haven't listened to my previous podcast with Michelle, my name is Nellie Akalp. I am CEO and founder of CorpNet.com. CorpNet provides the most comprehensive, cost-effective services when it comes to any type of business formation and compliance filings in any of the 50 states. As a matter of fact, we work with a lot of accountants and business professionals, financial advisors who represent clients, and we can help you help your clients when it comes to any type of business filing need, whether it's incorporating a business, setting up an LLC, or if you have clients who have an existing business who want to keep it in compliance, we can help with all of that and anything else.
Okay, cool. Well, for everyone that is an accountant, so that is all of you listening, if you want to check out her services, you can. But today we are talking about, a really important topic, because this one, it's going to be a great discussion today. Because for those of you that don't know, I've got a great story I'm going to share. So buckle up, put your seatbelt on, and hold on tight, because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, Michelle, I'm surprised you're still here today. But with Nellie, we're going to talk about, some of you might be in a job still. Some of you might be thinking, you know what, I want autonomy. I want to work for myself. I want freedom. I want flexibility. I want all that stuff that means abundance to me. And I want to start my own firm, my own accounting firm, right? And you're like 1 foot in on a job and 1 foot out. Or maybe you just got laid off and you're like job hunting, but you really want to do it yourself. And you're thinking, how the heck could I do this in a down economy? As you're listening, we're in that first quarter 2021 right now, maybe second quarter 2021. We're kind of in that time frame. And, last year was a complete disaster for a lot of people, even though for all of you, it was really busy with all the PPP, EIDL, laws, changes, election, you name it. So we're going to talk about maybe 4 reasons, 3 or 4, why actually now is the best time to start your own firm if you've been thinking about it. So Nellie, what do you think for someone who's been contemplating starting their own accounting firm? They're sick of putting in all this time and effort for working for somebody else. They realized in 2020 that actually having a job isn't so secure anymore. As you can see, a lot of businesses closed, people got laid off. I mean, who could have ever predicted that? But when you work for yourself, it's a whole different ballgame. So what do you think is like, why in a recession, or why in a down economy, or why on the up and out of a down economy would it be great to start your own accounting firm?
So, personal story here for myself. I've always been an entrepreneur. I started my first company right out of law school, literally never worked a day in my life with my first company. It was so easy to start it and just immediately start making money. And then I sold that company, took some time off, and then started my second company in a recession. And for me, I feel like starting a company, especially right now in this economic climate that we're in for accountants, starting your own business, going after your own accounting firm and taking control of your own life in this economic climate, in my opinion, would be the best thing you could do for yourself. And here's why, is because as a financial advisor, in my opinion, you are the next closest thing to any entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs right now need accountants more than ever. Why? Because they're coming to you, looking to you for financial advice as far as, okay, how do I manage this money that I've received as an SBA disaster loan? How do I manage all these disaster funds that I've received? Now it's time for me to start thinking about paying it back. And the SBA is asking for all this documentation. So as an accountant, you're in the best position to start your own firm because you can not only position yourself as a trusted advisor, but you can also position yourself as a one-stop shop to your clients who not only need these services, but are really looking to one person where they can have that person handle everything for them. So in my opinion, it's the best time for you to go after your own business dreams and start your own firm. And why not now? You're getting more and more clients coming to you. I mean, listen, we as a document filing service where we're specializing in starting businesses for people are seeing 100% growth.
Wow.
Over month with people in general starting their own business because there is no security when you're working for somebody else.
Well, and I think there's a lot of accountants that realize that. I've talked to a few. They're like, I was in a firm and I got laid off. And some of them went and embarked on starting a firm. And entrepreneurship is way different than having that quote unquote security, even though a lot of people in 2020 realize there is no security. But with entrepreneurship, you get to create whatever you put in. So if you're working 12-hour days for somebody else right now, what would happen if you work 12-hour days for yourself? And just to point out one other thing is that with all of the, like Nellie is saying, people need you now more than ever. They don't know what to do with these SBA stuff. They don't know what to do with EIDL. They don't know what to do with PPP. I mean, I'm one of them, right? I'm already taken care of. So no, you can't contact me because I'm not needing an accountant right now. But there's a lot of people like me, and we just want to focus on what we're really good at. So if I can spend 99% of my time doing this podcast and helping all of you create your sales processes in your firm and double revenue or have 100% month over month growth like Nellie, that's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. And here's the other thing for those clients that are trying to do it themselves, think about what it's going to cost them in mistakes. So this is a prime opportunity to do this because 2021, shoot, the deadline might be in July again, or maybe it is in July. Now, I am recording this a little early, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but my guess is it's July. So all this nonsense and paperwork, most entrepreneurs, 99.9% of the ones I've met don't like paperwork. So it's a great opportunity to get new clients. And here's the funny thing. Your business grew, right? My business grew. So a little personal story, Nellie. I don't know if I told you or if you're listening to this and you're an accountant, you've been listening to me for a while. I went to Peru with my boyfriend and we went for our birthdays. And on March 15th, they told us we had 24 hours to get out of the country. Got out of the country. We had to escape through Bolivia, got to Miami on March 18th and made it home. Been here ever since. But in March that month, I think I made $2,000, okay? Or something like that. It was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Well, if you're in a job, you don't experience that, right? You still get your paycheck every couple weeks. Nothing. But for an entrepreneur, or if you have your own firm, that's kind of like, it's time to put the pedal to the metal. And anyway, to fast forward and to keep that story slightly short, I've had my best year ever. Like, I can't even believe what happened this year. And when you own your own firm and in a down economy and in a recession, this is actually when the most millionaires and billionaires are typically created, because 97% of people will contract, go backwards, sit on the couch and watch Netflix, kick their feet up. Oh, I'll wait this out. Where 3% will say, all right, what kind of opportunities can I do, right? Like, how can I pivot my business? And I'm grateful I didn't have to pivot much. I was already remote, online, etc. But a lot of how I meet a lot of you, we go to events, right? There was no QuickBooks Connect. There was no Profit Con. There was none of these events that we all see each other at. So I was like, what am I going to do? Anyway, had the best year I've ever had. Totally did a 180 shift. And that's the opportunity that's available to you in this down economy. And one other thing, Nellie, and I'd love to hear what you think about this, but as far as leads go, because in order to start a business, you need to have clients and prospects to talk to. And just for the record, I do not do lead generation, but I have 2 friends that do, and they're really great once you know how to convert your leads. But most of all of my clients I've worked with, they are inundated with leads right now because so many people need help, like what Nellie was saying, with the SBA loans and the EIDL and the PPP, and maybe those are one of 2 are the same. And imagine all the other stuff that's going to be needed with everyone who filed unemployment. There's going to be a ton of people that not only were laid off, but now they're starting businesses. So now you're going to have an uptick in other entrepreneurs that are out there where you could put packages together. I had one client, Dave, he did $40,000 in revenue between March and June of 2020, just doing PPP consulting packages. So it's endless opportunities. But what would you say, Nellie, is like the second thing that's really important to know, thinking about before you open up your own firm? But that's really powerful in this down, struggling economy if you can separate yourself and be that top 3%.
I think the secret sauce to it is knowing what the need is out there and really trying to create a service that really fills that need. For example, I love using personal examples because I feel like people really connect with that. So when COVID hit, we, just like you, were really, really concerned as to, okay, what's going to happen? Are we going to continue to get business formation and filings requests? So as an entrepreneur, I am very, very quick to pivot. And the need that I saw out there is, there's all these SBA disaster loans that are coming out, and people don't know how to go about applying for them. So immediately we put up a content and application forms to assist not only accountants for their clients, but even the end user, the entrepreneur themselves, as to how to apply for these disaster loans. And the response was phenomenal. In fact, the response was so overwhelming that at one point we had to shut down the service because we did not want to upset our clients in not fulfilling their orders. So in answer to your question, I think you really need to see what the need is out there and really listen to your clients and serve their needs. And there's always a solution to a problem. For example, for those of you who are really, really thinking about going after, your own business streams, and, if you're working somewhere and trying to set up your own accounting firm, in my opinion, it's, think about what you're doing right now in your current situation working for another company, and what are the pain points that you're seeing with the clients that you're dealing with in working for a large firm, and how those needs are not being met, and maybe extracting from that and creating a more personalized concierge type of a service when going into business for yourself.
Yeah, I love the personalized concierge approach, because if you guys haven't read the book, you should probably pick up the book Influence and read it by Robert Cialdini, okay? And in the first chapter, he talks about a great story. And it's about these I don't know what they're called, topaz or something like that, rocks. And when you listen to the story, you'll understand why being a premium concierge accounting firm can make you a lot of money with very little clients. But I think understanding those pain points is crucial. And if you're wondering, well, Michelle, how do I figure out what their pain points are? This is how you do it, okay? So this is the secret sauce to understanding pain points. And I'm going to say a couple that might resonate with you. And basically, it's about, what does that person complain about? And whatever they complain about or call you about frantically and they're frazzled, that is a pain point that you could have a solution for. So if you're in a job, you could think about, oh, well, what are the people and clients that are calling this accounting firm who I'm working with? What are they complaining about? So for accountants, just to put it in perspective so you know kind of what I'm talking about, a lot of you complain about that you feel like you're walked over like a bulldozer because you give away information for free to clients and then you don't get paid for it. And then 3 years goes by and you're fed up, and then you're like, how do I get them to pay me for that work? And then you can't go back and charge them because you just shot yourself in the foot, right? So you feel like you're trampled over like a bulldozer and taken advantage of. So I've heard that a lot of times. So if that resonates for you, that is an example of a pain point. And then I said, oh, I have a solution for that, right? So I have solutions for that for accountants. Another type of pain point, and Nellie, I'd like to hear kind of maybe one pain point or two that you hear as far as like the document requests?
I have so many.
I know you have
right
a lot. We have a lot, but I want to give the accountants one example from you, okay? Just to be honorable of their time. But another pain point that I hear from a lot of you is, Michelle, I have a master's degree. I have a CPA. I'm a profit first professional. I'm a certified tax coach. I've done all this education. And the clients don't even want to pay me $1,000 or $2,000. They think I'm so expensive. And then you feel like you're kind of worthless. Like they don't see your value. And I hear that one all the time. And so I created solutions to help you solve that problem. So instead of that problem, it's, oh, wow, I have clients paying me $20,000, $30,000 and they're not even blinking an eye. So how do you, through your solutions that you could help your prospects with, that's how you could do that. What are the things and pain points that you've seen on your end, Nellie? Like the biggest one. Let's just give one example for sake of time.
Biggest one right now that I see is with accountants who are getting inundated with business formation and compliance requests and not having the time to research the required information that they need to keep their clients happy and, service their clients. And how you get around, through that pain point is number one, align yourself with a reputable filings partner, business filings partner, where you can outsource this service and still remain a trusted advisor to your clients. Not only you're going to look much better in the eyes of your clients. Why? Because your clients are getting the service they need. They're getting it faster and they're getting it accurately and quickly. Another pain point that we're seeing right now, which is huge with the onset of COVID, is more and more accountants are finding that their clients, as a result of being remote, are having to find employees in other states. And the whole process of state tax registrations.
Yeah, and they might not even know they have that pain point.
Exactly. So one of the things that in going to a lot of the remote accounting events that's happening through webinars and Zooms, we're finding that for us, solving that pain point for our accountants has really, really been a big indicator of why our business has truly quadrupled in size in just the last 3 months. It's because we've, indicated a pain point where that these accountants are representing clients who are now needing to expand their businesses in other states or having employees remotely in other states. And hence they need to, as a result of having nexus in those states, they need to register for tax registrations in those states. And the accountants are scrambling around trying to figure out how to do this. So CorpNet being a solution provider and providing them with this service has made it very simple for them. So for those of you accountants who are thinking of going into your own business, this is an area whereby you can immediately start offering, state tax registration services by aligning yourself with a company like ours. And you'll see that clients literally, in my opinion, you're going to be inundated with clients.
Well, yeah, you make it easy. So what do you think like the third most important thing is that an accountant would need to think of that maybe they haven't thought of right now before opening up their own accounting firm and starting their own accounting firm in this down economy, uncertainty, fearful everyday life that they deal with? And you might be going to your accounting firm job right now or your corporate finance job, or, you might be an internal CFO somewhere. And you're like, I wonder when I'm going to get the 2-week notice. What's the last thing that you would say that they should be thinking about before starting their accounting firm?
So in my opinion, the last thing is, so you already you have your plan. Okay. You have your business plan, you're going to go for it. And you know the what, the what, the where, and the question becomes how. And I think the last thing you want to definitely think about is, okay, now that you've decided to go in for your own business, how are you going to attract these clients and how are you going to market to them? So what's going to be your marketing strategy, which in my opinion, these days, it's so easy. Are you going to do it through, are you going to pay for it? Are you going to put up content? Are you going to do it through webinars? Are you going to do it through podcasts? Are you going to do it through a series of Facebook ads? I mean, what is your marketing plan? So that would be my third recommendation, is because marketing is huge. And even if you're going into business for yourself and you have the plan, you know how you're going to, basically advise these clients and service these clients, and you know what the product is going to be or the offering is going to be, you need to have a plan as to how you're going to attract the clients and how you're going to get more of those clients.
Yeah. And for, like Nellie was saying, my 2 cents on marketing, because marketing is very different than sales. So just to make that differentiation really clear on the front end. But for all of you, even if you just start working with, let's say, 5 clients, okay? So if you wanted Michelle's top-notch secret marketing plan, this is how simple it is. You don't need to hire anybody. You don't need to spend any money. You need to get 5 businesses or help 5 big clients do a great job and get a testimonial or review. Also, if you read the book Influence, you'll talk about social proof. And social proof is the most powerful form of marketing that you could do, especially if you're just starting. But if you get 5 clients to pay you, let's say $10,000 for annual work, and a lot of the accountants and some of you that I work with, you're charging your clients $1,000 to $5,000 per month. So you could do one-time engagements, you could do monthly revenue, but let's just say you did 5 clients at $5,000 or $10,000. That's up maybe $50,000 in revenue. And then you get a great testimonial, and you create a Google review account, you create a Yelp account, and you start posting those reviews there on how you're unique and different, right? Being that personal concierge firm. Just go all out. Be the most expensive premium CPA firm. And we can talk about this in a different episode on why. But just watch and just try it. Even if you don't believe me, try it while you're still in your job and see what happens. Because the referrals that you're going to get and the social proof from helping just 5 people, because when you only have 5 clients, you have a lot of time to work on them. You can give them your all. You'll be very different than a lot of other accounting firms, and some of you might feel like you have stacks of paperwork in front of you. You're behind the 8 ball. You're overwhelmed, right? Because maybe you've taken on too much business at not enough revenue, so you're actually like swimming upstream. And this is the way to combat that from the get-go. So yes, knowing how you're going to first start out. And I know that all of you listening go to 5 businesses right now. There's a restaurant you like. There's a dry cleaner you might go to. Well, not right now. You probably don't go anywhere because you don't need your clothes dry cleaned. But there are 5 businesses that you frequent that you could help them and even just work with them and do it. Maybe you could even, I've done this before. When I started my whole business, I helped 10 of you pro bono. And for helping you and creating your sales system, I got a testimonial. And those 10 testimonials have created massive amounts of revenue for me over the last 3.5 years of doing this. So that's another option because, again, they have these SBA loans. They have PPP. They have EIDL. They need a second set of eyes. And you're, like Nellie said, the most trusted advisor. I think those are your top 3 things to think about before jumping ship from your corporate job, your corporate finance job, or maybe your staff accountant at accounting firm. But you're absolutely sick of putting in time for somebody else. And you want to have that autonomy and the freedom and flexibility to work remote. That's another benefit we didn't even talk about, but no need for a brick and mortar office anymore. Take what you've heard from us, put it into action, and create the firm of your dreams. So Nellie, I have one last question for you, not about your business, okay? It is, what does abundance mean to you?
To me, abundance means doing the things that I love doing and I'm passionate about, and finding passion through it. And as a result, as a natural result, also being able to create the money that comes from it so that I can live the lifestyle that I want. For me, abundance has never been about money. It's about doing the things I love and I'm passionate about. And for me, I'm passionate about being on this interview with you because there is so much opportunity out there that we've touched upon. And I can take myself and my business as an example. I am in an industry that is so saturated, so saturated. So when Michelle talks about 5 clients, I truly, truly believe in what she says, and it's doable. It's not only doable, it works. It is a method that works because I'm in an industry that I'm faced with the 800-pound gorilla, multiple 800-pound gorillas as competitors. And when I started back with CorpNet after selling my first company, I really started this company not only in a recession, but coming into a market that was completely saturated, where it was really hard for me to get in because there was a barrier to entry.
Exactly. It's saturated.
Exactly.
You probably are thinking, well, everyone has an accountant. Yeah, but they don't have you. So let's end it with that, because that is the differentiation. People are buying you. They're not buying anything else. And we'll talk about that in another episode, because talking about why they buy you versus, it's not, you don't want to be seen as the commodity. We'll dive into that in the future. But Nellie, I just want to say thank you so much for being here with us on the Abundant Accountant podcast again. It was an honor to have you, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Thank you all so much for joining us here on another episode of the Abundant Accountant podcast. And just to recap it, if you've been really thinking about, I want to do this, I just don't know when. You know what? To be honest, there is never a good time to start a business. I guess I can't work for anybody else. I would probably go crazy. You know a little bit about me or have listened to the show for a while. I did have a job at an accounting firm. It was called Moss Adams. Hey, some of you might even work there. And I always found myself going on the meetings, to the lunches and the dinners, and with all the partners. Then I was like, you know what? This is a lot more fun than just doing all the paperwork. And I was on the financial analysis side. I worked with the M&A team a little bit. It's ingrained in us that having a job is a good thing. Yeah, I had a 401k. Yep, I had a paycheck. Wasn't much. After 3 years of that, I said, you know what? This just isn't cut out for me. And I literally just resigned, and 2 weeks later was my last day. And I don't think I've had a regular job since. So for all of you who are thinking, there's never a good time. Yeah, there's never a good time to work with me. There's never a good time to start an accounting firm. For accountants, you always have a deadline. There's March something, there's April 15th, there's now a July 15th, there's October 15th. There is always a deadline and never a good time. So think about that. Maybe list out your top 3 when you're going to make that jump, if that's what you want to really do. And for those of you that have had a firm for a little while, but you're just not too stoked on where it's at, a lot of the accounting clients that come to me, you're feeling frustrated, stuck, overwhelmed, and just tired. And what I found is that typically you're not charging enough, you're not charging what you're worth, and you don't have a solid system in place. So if you want to explore and get to the truth about some of the holes that you have in your firm and in your business, then what I recommend is to head on over to theabundantcall.com, book your first slot that you see, because time is of the essence, and there's not a lot of it with me or my colleague. But if you are committed to building a firm so you have confidence in your sales conversations and can do it with ease and spend more time with your family and have that abundant life full of passion, like what Nellie was talking about today, and what you've always really dreamt of. I don't think you all started a business thinking you're going to work 12, 16 hours a day. So let's explore that. Head on over to theabundantcall.com and book the first slot you see, and we can explore and discover what's possible. So I look forward to talking to a few of you. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next episode.